right, so if you want to get into real estate investing, the most important thing is making money, is profit, right? So today, I'm going to tell you two of the most important things that I look at, how those breakdowns work, and what you need to know. One of the most important things and first things I look at is cash flow on a property. And what is cash flow? Cash flow is basically after all expenses under the sun, after all your bills, after repairs, everything, how much can you expect to profit every month and put in your pocket? So here's some of the things that you have to look at and take into consideration when you're trying to calculate your cash flow. First, you want to take in the total monthly rents. What are those going to be? You definitely want to talk to some property managers, talk to some realtors. There's renometer.com. Look at some comps and start getting a good idea of what you can anticipate those rents will be. If it's already rented and you know what the rents are, then perfect, you got your income number, right? So you want to look at the total rents that are coming in. From there, you're going to have fixed expenses, you're going to have variable expenses, and you're going to have anticipated expenses. These are the different three categories that you have to break down. So fixed expenses are just that, things that you know are going to be the same amount every month or once a year or however often they are. You can count on them and they're going to be the same amount. Right? So your fixed expenses like your mortgage, your property taxes, home insurance, property management, that's going to be 6 to 10% of the rents depending on what market, but you'll know that expense up front. If you have to do any type of seasonal, work once a year, like have somebody come do some snow plowing or whatever the case may be, you know your fixed expenses and you want to gather all those up front so you have a clear picture of what they are. Then you have variable expenses like utilities, right? So utilities vary depending on the season, depending on the usage and things like that. So when there's variable expenses involved, once I'm in contract on a property and I'm getting my inspections, my appraisal, and I'm gathering all my due diligence, I will ask the current owner for 6 to 12 months of those bills for those variable expenses so I can average it out and make sure I have a clear picture of what to expect with the variable expenses. Then you have anticipated expenses. Anticipated expenses are things that might not be happening now, but you should account for them to have a true picture of what the cash flow should be. So these are things like repairs, capital expenditures, and vacancies. Capital expenditures are things that are like once in every 5 years, 10 years, like the water heater, the roof, air conditioner, things that might last a while, but you should put money aside every month so that when it happens, you're not in a bad spot. I typically will put anywhere from 5 to 15% of the money coming in every month aside and not touch it for capital expenditures. And I just let that grow, and when things are needed, it comes from there. So depending on the age of the property and the condition it's in is going to tell you how much you should put aside. If it's a new turnkey property, new roof, things like that, you could probably go on the lower end. If it's a property with a lot of deferred maintenance and it looks like it's going to need work soon, you're going to want to go towards the higher end. Just regular repairs. And repairs work the same way. If it's a turnkey property, it's in great condition, it's newer, you could probably go towards the 5% of the monthly amount to put aside for future repairs. If it's an older property, a lot of deferred maintenance, things like that, then I'm going to go closer to the 10 to 15% mark on how much I put aside every month for those types of things. For vacancies, again, during your due diligence period, I do call property managers. I ask for the turnaround time. How quickly can you fill this? What's the demand like? There's websites like renometer.com where you could look if rents are going up, and I take a whole overall look at the market, but typically I will only take out about 1 month of rent from all the units for vacancies. So once you have all of those numbers broken down, I have a great calculator. Just send me a message if you want a copy of that. But that calculator, I plug it all in and it tells me, okay, your rents are $3,000 a month and your mortgage payment's $500 a month, but you're not making $2,500 a month cash flow. Once I take all that out, honestly, like if it's around $700, $800, $900 a month, I'm happy. All right, so that's how you calculate the cash flow, how much money you can anticipate you're gonna make every month. Next, the thing I look at is cash on cash return. Cash on cash return is if I look at my total investment, everything out of pocket it's going to take me to get into this property, to get it up and running and start collecting rents and creating my cash flow, how much am I going to make on that money? So if I put $10,000 into it, it's usually more than that, but let's say a property is $10,000 all in and I make $1,000 a year profit on that, well, that's 10% cash on cash return. I'm making 10% of my money. If I know after all my expenses, I run all the same expenses that I do on my cash flow, and I take that monthly profit, I multiply it by 12, and that tells me what my annual return is going to be, right? I take the annual return and I divide it by the total out-of-pocket cost it took me to get that property, And then I know what my cash on cash return is. I know if I'm making 10, 20, or 30% a year off my initial investment. I like to find properties around 20%. The stock market, you can invest in index funds and make a safe 10%. You're not going to have the benefit of somebody paying down the mortgage, the appreciation of the property going up, the tax benefits that come with it, but that is an easy way where you don't need nearly as much money out of pocket to start making 10% on your money. But when you're ready to start investing in real estate, you can make so much more and have so many more benefits from it. If you want more information on index fund investing or what they are, check out this video and check out my other playlists as well to get more on real estate investing.